Okay, so this is a Nazi account. Goyish eyes realize real lies. Paraphrasing, what's his name? Not Jackson Smith. What's his name? What's Will Smith's kid's name? Jaden Smith, that's right. As a white supremacist, ironic.
So I think...
This is Peter Thiel, by the way. This sweaty, golem-looking motherfucker with the sunken eyes, who genuinely looks like he's about to shoot up the building. This is Peter Thiel, a billionaire, tech mogul, and one of the people spending a lot of money to make sure you don't get to vote in 2028.
In the case of Palantir specifically, I think, when I was doing research online, a lot of the criticisms that people want to make about Palantir is the idea that the technology that Palantir produces is used to crack down on individual liberty. So often the examples that people use to make this criticism is the idea of the example of policing departments across the US, or even with the protests outside the contracts with the IDF. And how do you...
It's always the most, like, dysgenic, non-functional inability to withstand the sunlight freaks who build movements based on the innate superiority of their biology. Look at this fucking guy.
In your position and as involved in Palantir, how do you navigate that balance between governments and technology?
He's being asked questions in AI. Okay, listen to these answers.
So determined. You mentioned you wouldn't be...
We're just looking at his behavior here, not the answers.
You mentioned you wouldn't be supporting Donald Trump. Would that change if he selected J.D. Vance as his vice presidential candidate?
Man, I'm always tempted to go back. I am so determined to try to stay out of it, but I think I'm not going to make an announcement of my political intentions here at Cambridge today. So, you know, I think Trump will win. I think that.
Remember, guys, this guy's literally one of the, like, grand architects of this country's demise. This one's even worse. Listen to this. He's asked a question about Israel.
So what do you think about the use of artificial intelligence, or lavender, by the IDF in identifying Hamas targets? And secondly, do you agree with Elon Musk about that the population decline?
Are all tech billionaires like this? He's so Elon-coded? Yes, because they were, like, uncharismatic fuckwits who got bullied in school, and once they ended up lucking out in an investment, because they're never actually tech guys. They're always, like, tech investment guys. They're always, like, venture capitalists in the tech industry. Once they get a ton of money, they're like, now that I've made a bunch of money, which is divine evidence of my superiority over others, I will use my power to get back at all the chads who bullied me in high school. And then, like, that usually translates into some kind of, like, weird megalomaniacal desire for attention. Elon does it. Peter Thiel does it. They both ended up following the same basic path. Peter Thiel probably thinks himself smarter than Elon Musk, which, to be fair, is an extremely low bar. He's certainly not more charismatic. Listen to this.
Decline is a risk for humanity.
Look, I'm not, you know, without going into all the I'm not on top of all the details of what's going on in Israel, because my bias is to defer to Israel. It's not for us to.
A lot of Nazis like this guy, by the way. So him being asked a question on, like, Israel's use of AI, and him flubbing and going like, I listen to Israel, I stand with Netanyahu, is incredibly funny.
To second guess everything, and I believe that broadly the IDF gets to decide what it wants to do, and that they're broadly in the right, and that's sort of the perspective I come back to. And if I fall into the trap of arguing you on every detailed point, I would actually be conceding the broader issue that the Middle East should be micromanaged from Cambridge, and I think that's just.
Did he just say my bias is to side with Israel? Yes.
Simply absurd, and so I'm not going to concede that point.
This is the guy who made J.D. Vance, and then the replies are just Nazis being really mad. It's funny. Isn't he the guy who funded Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker? Yes. Peter Thiel wrote that women getting the vote was bad for democracy. Not surprising. Again, like, unfuckable, mediocre men end up, like, growing into these. But, like, yeah, the pattern repeats every time, man. Isn't Peter Thiel gay? Another, like, very funny fact Another thing adding to the pile.